Hello Texas Study students, this is Coach Science. Today's flipped classroom video lesson will be on Chapter 2 and Texas Place on Earth. We will be specifically looking at how to find absolute location using latitude and longitude. We're also going to be exploring different kinds of maps and features of maps. For today's lesson, I will need you to draw 6 vocabulary diagrams in your notebook. We'll be discussing 6 words today. For our first word, we're going to be discussing the word latitude. Latitude is locations north or south of the equator. Make sure that you're drawing a picture in your diagram like the one here. That way, later on when you review the word, it helps you out. These lines right here in yellow going across the globe are the lines of latitude. These lines divide the globe between the north and the south of the equator. This red line here is the equator, which we'll be discussing later on today. Our second vocabulary word will be the word longitude. Longitude is locations east or west of the prime meridian. As you can see in this picture, you see the lines going north and south of the world. These lines are lines of longitude. This red line right here is known as the prime meridian, which will be discussed in a bit shortly. But the lines of longitude are going north and south, up and down the globe. Make sure that you draw your picture in your vocabulary diagram. Our next vocabulary word is the word equator. Equator is an imaginary line that divides the Earth into northern and southern hemispheres. Shortly we'll be going over what hemispheres are. The red line, as you can see here, across the globe is an imaginary line that's actually not there, but it divides the Earth into the north, the northern part, and the southern part. Our next vocabulary word is prime meridian. The prime meridian is the imaginary line at 0 degrees longitude that divides the Earth into eastern and western hemispheres. Now, in the picture, you see the prime meridian clearly a thicker red line in the middle of the Earth. Now, the other red lines along with it are known as meridians. Like we had discussed earlier, these lines of longitude going north and south would divide the Earth between east and west. Our next vocabulary word is going to be the word hemisphere. Hemisphere is 1/2 of the Earth divided by the equator or the prime meridian. Now, here we see all 4 different ways in which the Earth can be divided into hemispheres. In the green up here, we have the northern and the southern hemispheres. Now, in the red, we see the western and the eastern hemispheres. Now, we in Texas are located in the northern hemisphere, divided by the equator, and in the western hemisphere, divided by the prime meridian. Okay, class. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how to find absolute location using latitude and longitude lines. Now, the lines you see here moving east to west are the latitude. The lines going north to south are the lines of longitude. Now, down here we have a list of cities of the United States with specific coordinates of latitude and longitude. All right? The latitude is the first number you see there. The second one is the longitude. Okay. We can see that they are marked, the latitude here is marked 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and so on and so forth down. Now, the longitude are marked 120, 110, 100, 90, 80, 70, and so on and so forth. Now, the cities here are marked by these little red dots that you guys see there. What we're going to do is we're going to find which one goes where. To demonstrate, we're going to start with the very first one, Detroit, Michigan, down here. So we're going to look at 42 on our latitude. So here's 40. I'm going to make a line across about from right there, 42. Then I'm going to look at my longitude, which is 83. I'm going to go down here, look for 80. That's about 83 there. Come up. And I can see that X marks the spot. There's Detroit, Michigan. Now, another one we can do is we can do Santa Fe, New Mexico. Now, to start off, we're going to look at our latitude. So we're going to go about 35, which is between 40 and 30. Come across. Then we're going to look at 106, between 110 and 100 on the longitude. Come up, and there you go. X marks the spot on Santa Fe, New Mexico. That's how we demonstrate absolute location. Now we're going to turn our attention to the handouts you received in class today for class notes. Fill in the blanks as we go. We're going to be exploring different kinds of maps. First and foremost, the most important thing is the top of the map is always facing north. The top of the map is always facing north. Now, the top of the map will never be south, east, or west. It will always be facing north, as you can see in this Texas map here. Here's where it says it's pointing up. Now we're going to be looking at features of maps. The first feature we're going to look at is title. Now, the titles of map can vary. They can be at the top of the map, or the sides, to the left, or to the right. For this case, in this map, it's at the bottom left-hand corner here. The title of this map is Texas Revolution, 1835 to 1836. The next feature of maps we will be talking about is the compass rose. Compass rose gives us directions of the map. It gives us north, south, east, and west. We can see it up here on the left-hand corner of the map. Also, always remember that the top of the map is always going to face north or point north. The next important feature is the scale. The scale measures miles and kilometers of a map. Here we see the scale on the lower right-hand corner of the map, down here. Now, this map has actual both miles and kilometers, and it actually shows the distance between battles shown here in this map. The next important feature of a map is the symbols. Symbols vary in maps. In this map, which is a map of the Texas Revolution, therefore, you're going to have symbols of battles. For this particular map, the battles will be marked in the red explosions right here, as you can see. You'll be able to see them in the legend, which is over here, which we'll be discussing shortly. The red explosions means that where the battles took place. These symbols can also be colors, as you can see, where the yellow is here and the green is here, representing different parts of maps. Now, symbols are a very important thing to understand when using maps. The next important feature of a map is the legend. A legend is an explanation of a map's symbols and scale. Now, on this particular map, the legend is located on the bottom left-hand side in a square, as we can see there. Now, at times, it may be circular, it may be round, it may be different types of things, or in different areas of the map. Now, the legend will help you with the explanation of the symbols of the map. As you can see there, it has different ones, and it explains where each battle took place along the whole map. That's a legend. To wrap up today's lesson, I would like to show you how to read a map. This particular map is a map that is the annual average rainfall of Texas. Now, the symbols for this particular map are going to be colors, as you can see in the different regions of Texas. Now, at the same time, they will be in our legends down here. Now, in order to determine what the colors symbolize, we need to look at our legend. Each color represents the different rainfall in Texas that it's received each year. If you would like to figure out how much annual rainfall the city of Austin, which is here, receives every year, then I simply look at the matching color where the city is located. I see Austin here in a semi-dark green, and we look in our legend, and where do we see it? What do you think the answer to the Austin's annual rainfall would be? Good, you guessed right, 32 to 48 inches. Now, if we look at other areas of the state of Texas, let's go ahead and see how much El Paso rained and how much they received throughout the year. If we look at the matching color right here, a light orange, let's look at in our legend how much rain they received. Now, as a class, let's go ahead and answer it. That's right. El Paso, as we see here, had under 8 inches of annual rainfall. Now, this is how we read a map. That concludes our video lesson on Chapter 2, Texas Place on Earth.